Welcome everyone to the Jobs Committee. This meeting will now come to order. Just so that everyone has a really good sense of the roadmap for today, I usually do this at the start of every proceeding. One is that we're going to start off with a presentation from BioMADE, and we are excited to have Congresswoman Betty McCollum here with us, as well as others, and we're going to hear about this interesting opportunity. And then after their presentation, which will take a little longer than what I ordinarily do, then we'll go through our Senate files. And just so that most folks understand, when a particular Senate file is introduced, the author will come to the dais, and then a testifier or two. After the senator speaks, the testifiers get 2 minutes. We're pretty strict on those 2 minutes because you can tell we have a full and robust schedule, and we think everything you say is very important, and we want to make sure that we hear it all. So thank you for being here. With that, I'd like to start and ask our wonderful Congresswoman Betty McCollum to come to the testifiers table, and to flank her and to support her, we also would ask that Dr. Freeman and Dr. Schottman join her. And then whenever you are ready, Congresswoman, just feel free to start and talk about, this opportunity and anything you would like for us to know, and we are really excited to have you. And why you also have Senator Putnam here with us is because he introduced the bill that just got introduced, and this is an opportunity for us to hear about it. So as we consider it for our omnibus bill, we won't have to hear it all over again, but I'm sure he's going to keep telling me about it over and over again, so I'm certain of that. So with that being said, maybe I will let the author just say hi to us and just talk about why he's doing it, and then let's turn it over to the worthy Congresswoman. Senator Putnam.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair, for taking the opportunity to hear about this incredibly exciting and interesting opportunity we've got before us. Also, thank you for your support of the bill. I do want to acknowledge that the bill that supports this work is deeply bipartisan. So I would like to thank Senator Champion for signing on, Senate Majority Leader Dietzich, Minority Leader Johnson, and of course, Senator Champion. When I first heard about this project, I was amazed. But my amazement has increased exponentially the more I learn about it. So I will be very quick, Mr. Chair, and just say that we have people who are much more knowledgeable and smarter about this than I could ever dream of being. And so I'm just going to say I think this is cool, and I'm very grateful that we're hearing about it today.
Well, thank you so much. And Congresswoman Betty McCollum, if you'll so much tell us about why you did this work, because we know that you are spearheading this work and leading it in Washington, D.C., and we have a unique opportunity here in Minnesota. So we are always grateful for your work and your visionary leadership and the opportunity. Congresswoman McCollum.
Well, thank you, and good afternoon. And a special thank you to the chairman for working this in and giving me the opportunity to be here today when I'm in the district. And it's good to be back at the Minnesota legislature. Ran into a lot of familiar faces walking the halls here, but I have to admit this is my first time ever testifying in front of the Minnesota Senate Committee. Did a lot in the House. Thank you all for your interest in biomanufacturing, and to the folks here who have the other senators who are here, contact our office. Feel free to do so if you have more questions at the end of this. I'm here today as a representative of Minnesota's congressional delegation, I'm the dean of it, to speak about a once-in-generational opportunity for our state here. Since 2020, Minnesota's congressional delegation, Democrats and Republicans, have supported the development of a U.S. government-sponsored Manufacturing Innovation Institute that will drive the commercialization and job creation of the emerging biomanufacturing sector. Our effort resulted in the creation of BioMADE, a national nonprofit leading network, business, academic institutions, researchers, and entrepreneurs. BioMADE is focused on launching clean, green, biology-based manufacturing revolution and making the products of the future. BioMADE is now based in Minnesota, and it is in the Majority Leader's District. For background, bioindustrial manufacturing is a process of using living organisms, cells, tissues, enzymes to produce chemicals and products, even protein foods, for non-pharmaceutical applications at commercial scale. Agricultural feedstocks such as corn stover, wood fiber, sugar beet tailings, switchgrass, and even dandelions are put into materials for bio-industrial manufacturing. Living systems like bacteria, yeast, and algae can then be used to produce materials, chemicals that make sustainable, environmentally friendly products that can replace existing petroleum-based products. This emerging field of biology-based manufacturing has both a broad commercial application, a critical national security implications for our nation. From my perspective in the U.S. Congress, it was clearly significant that the federal investment was a necessary step to bridge the divide between the U.S. leadership in laboratory research and required resources now in the manufacturing of the products at commercial scale. So we had all the ideas, we just weren't manufacturing in the United States. And that's why last December, as chair of the House Appropriations Subcommittee of Defense, I included $300 million in the fiscal year 2023 Consolidation Appropriations Act to fund a pilot scale of bio-industrial manufacturing facilities. Let me explain why. Currently, the United States has insufficient bio-industrial infrastructure, and that's a risk to our national security, but it's also a risk to our broader economic security. Europe, Asia, Mexico are now the destinations for U.S. companies seeking these pilot scale facilities to advance their products towards commercial production. The U.S. is behind. We're way behind, and we must catch up. I'm here today because Minnesota has a major opportunity to take a lead in what will be the U.S. industrial biomanufacturing revolution. Using homegrown Minnesota agricultural products, the skilled Minnesota workforce, we can build a better alternative to petrochemicals and build a new manufacturing economy with biology, a cleaner, greener biomanufacturing economy to achieve our carbon reduction goals together. I want to thank Senator Putnam for introducing Senate File 2598, a bill to match $100 million in federal funds that's on the table right now with $100 million in state funding. And make no mistake about it, other states are getting ready to do this right now. Senator Putnam's bill will enable BioMADE to create a biomanufacturing campus right here in Minnesota, making our state the epicenter of a movement to revolutionize manufacturing. His bill will create new markets for farmers, launch new manufacturing companies, create great quality jobs with a diverse workforce opportunities in urban, suburban, exurban, and rural communities all across the state. Make no mistake, I can't say this enough, there are other states who want these federal dollars, and the competition in Washington is fierce. Minnesota has an opportunity to be at the head of the table, not just at the table. Minnesota can lead the nation, but you will have to match these existing federal funds to embrace this moment to secure economic opportunity. I look forward to what biomanufacturing will create. $4 trillion annually in economic activity over the upcoming decades. Minnesota should be part of that. It will require a partnership of federal, state, private investments. This is an opportunity for Minnesota to make this economy and this employment vision a reality for today and for future generations. Senators, the next generation of commercial products for daily use is going to be produced by biology. If we act, the manufacturing will be reshored in America, and this is a moment for it to be happening in Minnesota under Minnesota leadership. Biomanufacturing will make these products of the future, and we can, I can't say it enough again, we can make it here in Minnesota. So I thank you, Mr. Chairman. I thank the committee members for their attention. And as we say in Congress, I yield back any time that might be remaining.
Yeah, thank you so very much, and thank you for being here. And again, thank you for your leadership on this and understanding that I think you allocated roughly $300 million. Is that right? And so what we're considering here at this table is the federal match in order to really make sure that we are strategically positioned to benefit from this great work.
And Mr. Chair, they will be distributed in $100 million increments, so this isn't something where people can come in and just kind of fractionalize it. This is what it needs to be to scale. Thank you.
Thank you so very much. And Congresswoman, would you like for Dr. Douglas Friedman to go next to kind of do the presentation, or who should we call on next?
I think Senator Putnam and I would like it very much if the doctor went next. Thank
Dr.
you.
Friedman, then you are before us, and I see that the PowerPoint is up, so take us through this presentation that I found very interesting when we got together, especially conversations around dandelions. Dr. Freeman.
You can use it.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you to the senators on this committee for the opportunity to walk you through a couple of slides building on Congresswoman McCollum's comments. I'm Doug Friedman. I'm the CEO of BioMADE. BioMADE's a nonprofit public-private partnership, and we're part of the Manufacturing USA network. The goal of this network is to build partnerships across the country and with the federal government that focus on particular manufacturing sectors that have real national importance. We do this by coalescing an industry. So on this first slide, you can see the companies, the universities, the nonprofits, the community and technical colleges that we work with actively to facilitate the advancement of this ecosystem. If you go to the next slide, we'll see the companies that we're focused on here in Minnesota. You see some companies you probably recognize, some companies you probably don't. This is the point. The goal here is to connect large companies that have experience commercializing products, whether those are products currently primarily made with biology or not, and pulling in an innovation ecosystem that bubbles up technology that has been invented here in Minnesota and across the US to ultimately be manufactured here in the US. The focus for us now on the next slide is thinking about what can we make with bioindustrial manufacturing? What does that even mean? I encourage you to think broadly about the chemicals and materials that are used in your daily life. Dr. Schattenmann and I were talking about our clothes and the pigments in our clothes, right? These are products that can be manufactured using biology. On this slide, you see everything from sustainable aviation fuels through hard building materials, through agriculture-based products to increase crop yield, to Tide Pods. We're talking about an incredible breadth of technologies that lead to an even greater breadth in products. On the next slide, we'll talk through what challenge this industry is facing. And so Congresswoman McCollum, in her remarks, pointed out that infrastructure is a real challenge. In order for this technology to go from the laboratory to the commercial market, there are a number of steps that you must go through, including pilot manufacturing. This is common in many manufacturing fields, and the US has infrastructure in many manufacturing fields to enable the US to be competitive. It simply does not in bioindustrial manufacturing. You can see a slide that's a picture of Europe. That was not a mistake. Facilities overseas, through incredible amounts of overseas investment, $7 billion over the last decade invested in facilities in Europe, are where companies in the US have to go today. They can't do this here at home. We know there's a need, and so BioMADE's vision is to establish a network of pilot facilities here in the US that's able to raise US competitiveness so that we can create an end-to-end ecosystem doing all steps of the manufacturing scale-up process here at home. Next slide. So why are we here? We're here because Minnesota has some of the key pieces to put together a manufacturing ecosystem that we believe can lead the nation in competitiveness. Through Congresswoman McCollum and the rest of Congress's incredible support at establishing this network, we've broken up this concept to create 12 to 15 manufacturing facilities across the country. And we need to get started somewhere first, and that's why we're here talking to you today. The idea is to create a manufacturing campus, something 500 to 1,000 acres, a large campus that can lead in manufacturing innovation, put a pilot facility in the middle of it, build in workforce training, and build in the relevant infrastructure so that companies are available to come in, build around that campus, and do their production manufacturing all in the same place. This is critical for competitiveness, and it's critical for us to be able to build out the manufacturing ecosystem in the space that we're looking at. The next and final slide talks a little bit about how we see this happening. We see a campus initially built out with a pilot facility. We build out at the same time infrastructure that's able to support electrical, rail, wastewater treatment, that's able to support the 1,000-acre campus and create business conditions that make it really attractive, too good to be true if we're doing it right, for companies to come in and say, we know we need to build our next facility over the fence, across the street. And we've put together the puzzle that allows us to go from the farm through to the manufactured good, all co-located in one place on one campus. Minnesota has some of the key features that are required to make this possible, and that's why we're here talking to you today, to bring this opportunity to your attention and ask that you come forward to have the state go first in creating one of these and lead the way for the country. More broadly, the country has some decisions to make right now regarding the last 20 to 30 years of investment in modern biotechnology. Billions of dollars, taxpayer dollars and private funds, have been invested in creating some of the best biotechnologies in the world here in the US. But we haven't been able to effectively commercialize them to the breadth of profitable companies that we know we can. And these are the types of steps, and infrastructure is a critical component to allow that to happen. Mr. Chairman, thank you so much for your time, and I'm thrilled to be with you today.
Thank you so very much. Can you just highlight a little more about the agricultural component? Because it's my understanding one of the key features is because we are agricultural state, but also farmers or individuals who may plot their land for one thing, there's always an opportunity to have a multi-use of it, something of that nature. And then if you could talk about what are some of the other things that can be created from some of this biology. Doctor.
Mr. Chairman, I'm happy to answer that question, and I will do it very briefly. Dr. Schattenman will also be able to address those exact points from a key industry player perspective. The way this works is you can start with a raw agricultural product. The Congresswoman brought up corn and sugar beets, two key agricultural products in biomanufacturing. You refine those products to some sort of intermediate product, basically sugar syrup. That sugar syrup then gets fed to bugs, to microbes. I encourage you to think of your local craft brewery. Your local craft brewery has large fermenters, moderate-sized fermenters, really. Those fermenters are used to brew beer, but they don't have to be. They can be used to brew rubber. They can be used to brew any number of chemicals that can then enter the chemical supply chain. So pulling from these agricultural products to ultimately come out and intersect with the chemicals industry is what we're talking about here. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Dr. Shetman, welcome to the committee. Identify yourself for the record and go forward with your presentation. Welcome.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chairman, for being here and the committee on the opportunity to be here. I'm Florian Schattenman. I'm the Chief Technology Officer for Cargill, which is a major producer in the bioindustrial space. And I'm also here to ask for your support in the infrastructure request for Bill 2598. This investment of the State of the Union, Minnesota, together with the federal funds in the biomanufacturing campus that includes basically a pilot scale facility, some land for other companies to co-locate, and the infrastructure to allow that to happen can be a true catalyst, can be a true engine of where companies can now build new manufacturing opportunities and create along the way thousands of jobs. And we know how this works. It's not theoretical. On this slide, you see a picture on the lower right that is actually one of those combined campuses where there's a co-location of multiple companies that take advantage of these kind of infrastructure elements. And there's really three key elements that have to be considered here. Number one is this co-location. It's all about efficiency, right? How do you make sure that you that you access the same wastewater, processing of feedstocks, utilities, all that kind of stuff. The second point is this access to feedstock, and I would like to take this opportunity to answer your question here. And I like actually to start with the industry that we're kind of trying to replace here slowly, and that's the good old oil and petrochemical industry. Here you start with oil that gets refined into fuels and into smaller chemicals, petrochemicals, into polymers and materials that we use in all kinds of applications every day. Here's the same type of supply chain, but it starts with crops. These crops are getting refined. You extract the corn kernels, you take them and convert them into the sugar paste, and then now these little organisms can make all kinds of, as you do the science with them, can do all kinds of things. They can make certain monomers that can then be processed into existing polymers, but now they come from a renewable source, not from an existing resource that is getting decreased in the earth. So this is really the exciting part around this. And so you have it's the efficiency, it's this new supply chain that's based on renewable input, and then the third is talent. It already has come up a couple of times. Minnesota produces great talent, but that new bioeconomy is actually a draw for diverse talent too. It's where a lot of the future will be. So why is a facility like this actually needed? There's really two primary reasons. To get to a fully commercial process that is profitable, you have to validate that technology at that kind of level, and you have to be able to create meaningful samples that customers can try. That cannot be done with lab samples. And so if you don't have that, you don't have that draw. Now, in the current world, you have to go somewhere else. So what happened to us in a specific example is that we had a leading technology developed in labs here in Minnesota, but we couldn't scale them at that intermediate semi-commercial scale. And so we had to go to Europe, to one of those in Italy, to actually license a technology that was not as good, but it was tried and it was scaled in Europe. And so the problem is that these facilities on its own are not profitable, so they have to compete against other capital investments, and so always drop to the bottom, and venture capital doesn't invest in those. So that's why this coalition of federal and state funding is so critical. In our estimate, this is a critical once-in-a-generation opportunity, as Congresswoman McCollum already mentioned, for Minnesota. There's a direct positive impact for the Minnesota's industry, the farmers, the workforce, actually, frankly, its future. So we're really excited to be part of BioMADE, and thank you again for the opportunity to speak with you today in support of this bill and this project.
Thank you so very much. Thank you to all the testifiers. Members, do you have any questions of either the testifiers? Senator Nelson.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Oh, this is so incredibly interesting. Congresswoman, I'm hoping to speak to you about this afterwards. Very, very intriguing. I have a question, though. All too often we've seen that map where things are invented here. I think a Cardio 3, for example, down in Rochester, where I live, had to go to Belgium. Fortunately, they came back, and so we're very glad about that. But I want to know, the map that you showed I thought was very telling, and it showed all of those plants. Can you just tell me a little bit about those, the bioeconomy plants, the map of all the plants in Europe? And my question would be like, what have you seen from those plants? What has come from those BioMADE plants in so many parts of Europe that you showed us. What could we expect? Can you add some more color to that?
Dr. Freeman or Congresswoman, who would you like to?
I'm turning to the doctor.
Okay, so either one of the doctors, go for it.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Absolutely. So that map is from a website that you can go to, biopilots, the number 4, the letter U, .eu.
Say it again.
They are, we'll get it to you, ma'am. They are so organized that they have a website where you can actually click on each of these facilities on the map and learn what they have to offer. And they have different things to offer. The facility Dr. Schattenmann mentioned in Italy is on this map. And this came from a decade of investment from the European Commission to seed capital to allow the European Union to be able to take a leadership position. And so what you now have is the ability to go and say, this is the type of product I'm going to make. I want to make acrylic acid, which is a chemical that goes into many polymers, say diapers. And I want to make it through this biological process, and this is the type of equipment I think I'm going to need. I go look and say, all right, I am going to France, because that's where the facility is.
Interesting.
Our proposition is to say you really shouldn't have to go to France. You should be able to say, I'm going to go to Rochester and say, okay, the facilities, the equipment are there, but we have an opportunity now to do this in a way that is different than what happened in Europe over a decade. The opportunity we have now is to say, we understand the strength of the underlying biotech ecosystem that we've created here in the US, and put together a network to say, all right, even if I can't do it in Rochester, we have a networked set of facilities that virtually any chemical product can ultimately be made, because remember, these facilities are only needed as an intermediate step. They're needed to prove the technology and get customer validation. Once you have that, then there's a business case to build the big thing. And that's what we're hoping to accomplish with the network.
Senator Nelson,
Do we have time for a couple more questions, or I can meet them afterwards?
you could ask one more before I go to Senator Draheim.
Oh, okay. So I was reading the, I thought I heard you said 500 to 100 to 1,000 acres needed. Now, is that like just for one of those BioMADE sites, or is that like large enough that there could be different sites for different types of kind of that proving ground? And I'm guessing, just to throw in the second part, this is beyond an angel investor tax credit. This would be like R&D type of tax credits that might be helpful. Two little questions.
Doctor or Congresswoman, were you trying to say something earlier and I missed you?
I was just going to, Mr. Chair, to Senator Nelson. This is why the federal government's involved in this. If we've learned anything in the last, I'm just going to say last, couple years, between COVID and what's happened in the war in Ukraine, is supply chain. Now, so not only do we need to put our research dollars to work, and we do here in the United States, but we want to put the next step, the pilot study step, as Doug was talking about here, but then it's to manufacture it here. And this is the technology of the future, not petrochemical based. We're still going to be, building, cars and roads and bridges and infrastructure, all of that, and we're onshoring some of those supplies that we need to manufacture that. But the next wave of clothing, of fuels. I mean, how many years, I'm going to date myself here, when I was here back in the House in the 90s, we talked switchgrass, switchgrass, switchgrass. This is going to be a reality of how switchgrass could get used. And then if you want to elaborate a little more of what's on the campus.
Dr. Freeman?
Sure, so it's an excellent question, thank you. A pilot facility, we'd imagine one pilot facility being on the campus. That might take 10 acres. What's critical is ensuring that the other infrastructure that surrounds the campus, the electrical, the water, the wastewater treatment, the rail, is already pre-positioned so that when a company goes through the pilot phase and is successful, we can say to them, look, we have 50 acres across the street that have all of these points that you need to make your business successful to start building as soon as possible across the street. And so the idea is to seed additional private sector investment, crowd in the private investment and manufacturing, and have multiple facilities all around that are at the production scale, all that have been able to come through the pilot facility. And Dr. Schottman brought up talent. Talent to staff these positions is going to be critical, right? We're talking about jobs that are high paying for a reason, and the reason is they require high skill. And so by having a pilot facility on campus, you can also be training the next generation of the workforce. The beauty of running a nonprofit is that I don't have to make a profit. I can have my workers come through, and it is the best case scenario if those workers get hired at the production plant across the street and have a long-term career. And continuing that pipeline of training and that increased number of manufacturing jobs in this new manufacturing economy is part of why the campus model can work effectively in this space.
And members, just so you remember that one of the important things about this is also national security. How do we think about our infrastructure? How do we think about self-sufficiency while generating revenue so that even we create family-sustaining wage opportunities as well, right? Mm-hmm. So with that, Senator Draheim, and then I think, Senator Pratt, did you have your hand up? No, don't think about it. Don't even think about it. Senator Draheim.
Thank you, Chair Champion, and thank you, Senator, for bringing your concept forward with the Congresswoman. Thank you. It's much needed. I think Minnesota is the perfect location for such a concept. And I won't repeat what's been said. I think we could spend a whole committee hearing on this, and I think it is worthy of that. But just a couple comments that I think is missing in your bill, Senator Putnam. And I think long-term, we have the initial investment with the help with our friends in DC. But to really make a successful program, we need ongoing incentives to stay here in Minnesota. And I would recommend some tax incentives to keep industry here. We need to get everything made in the United States, but it would even be better if it was made in Minnesota. And then I would also caution the majority party on some of the other bills that are moving forward as it has to do with biomedicine. If we're going to ask these venture capitalists to come in and spend tens of millions of dollars in that field, we need to be careful on what we're doing. And there's a couple bills that do hurt the biomedicine field that are moving forward in our body. So I love the concept. Thank you, Congresswoman, for bringing it forward. Thank you, Senator. But I just caution that we need to make sure everybody's on board. Thank you.
And as we consider this, we are talking about a pilot for Minnesota. So even though we know that that's why we're competing, so we can have it here in Minnesota. Senator Housley.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Great tee up. I don't know if you brought this up earlier that I might have missed, but what are the other states that we would be competing with?
Congresswoman McCullum.
Mr. Chair, Senator Housley, a couple come to mind in previous competitions. We haven't seen anything from the legislative bodies yet. But let me tell you who I find we routinely compete against, and that's Ohio. That is Texas. That is California. And the East Coast is seriously looking at this. And here in the Midwest, we have everything in one co-located spot, which makes us so attractive. And, you think of our rail and our road system here, which the road system which the state of Minnesota has invested in farm to market for so long. We have a road system. We have a rail system. We have a university. We have an ag school. We have a vet school. We have, the technical colleges. But one of the things that we're struggling as a state is as we educate workers to keep them here. And this will do that. And it will create us to be the leaders that we have talked about being for years ethanol we thought was going to be more of a help than it's proven to be, than it's been able to be. It's still a role player in energy. But this is the new energy. And those farmers are going to be able to reinvest their crops into something else that I believe will be more profitable for them and for the next generation of farmers in this state.
Thank you, Congresswoman. Last question.
No, thank you,
Senator Housley?
Congresswoman McCollum and Mr. Chair. That's it. Good.
Thank you so much. Listen, we could go on and on and on about this wonderful initiative, and you have some information in your packet. And we'll know that we will keep moving forward because there's a couple wonderful initiatives that we have put forward that require a federal match, because we do really want to think about Minnesota, but also think in a real visionary way too. What are those things that are happening across the world that we can be really engaged around? So we'll close. With that being said, closing comments from the Congresswoman.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chair. Thank you to the committee members who are here. And this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. This will happen. I might be in the U.S. Congress, but I'm from Minnesota, and we represent the 4th District. This is our chance to have this happen so that the next generation of manufacturing happens here, the next generation of innovation happens here, and a brighter future for our nation happens here. This is the future, and we want to be part of it. And I'm so glad that you're taking this into heart. And my office stands ready to assist with any other questions you might have, as well as these great gentlemen I've gotten to know. And I'd like to thank the senator for sponsoring the bill. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
And I did have one other person that had a question, and they were on my list, and I'm sorry that I missed her, Senator Gustafson, and then I'll come to the table because I have to get out of here in the next 20 minutes. I do, anyway.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'm sorry, and Congresswoman McCollum is my congresswoman, so welcome, and it's good to see you. I had a really quick question. Earlier, you had mentioned that there was the potential for the bio industry manufacturing to bring in something like $4 trillion. Do you have any idea how much of that we would see in our Minnesota economy?
Well, we'll see zero if we don't have
Congresswoman.
Mr. Chair, Senator, and I have two great people from the 4th District right here, so they're getting my undivided attention.
Yes, right.
I work for them.
I see, Congresswoman.
And they're bipartisanly, too. We'll get zero if we don't contribute. I mean, that is the urgency of this right now. And this doesn't happen very often for us as legislators, but this is on the table before us. If we don't invest, it's zero of that $4 trillion. If we invest, it's limitless depending upon what we do with it and how creative we are. And the companies that want to stay here, like Cargill, there were companies like 3M and other companies that we had up there that you haven't heard of. One of the companies, maybe you mentioned really quick, who's looking to come here. We were talking about it yesterday.
Dr. Friedman, briefly.
So I can say one of the aspects of this that's critical is we have our nationwide network, right? We have more than 100 companies that we work with. They are actively making decisions about where to go to do their manufacturing. And a lot of them come from places where it does not make sense to do it in their hometown. They're going to be going to another state or another country. Right now, more often than not, they're going to another country. They are starting, and part of our plan is to say, okay, well, now you need to pick a state not a country. And so the purpose here is to say, how do we make the greatest set of business conditions so that they pick your state for your chunk of that incredibly large bioeconomy that is to come in the next decade.
Thank you so much. Thanks again. We sincerely appreciate it. Thank you. No further questions. Have a wonderful day. Thank you so much. And thank you to Larry Redmond, who I know has been working really hard on this as well. All right, with that being said, we have to move expeditiously. Senate File 1085 is in front of the committee, which is the Center for Economic Inclusion. So I ask Tawana Black and Edna McKenzie to join me at the table.
Okay, Senator Champion, you can begin your testimony as soon as you sit down.
Thank you so very much. Madam Chair, thank you so much for the opportunity to hear Senate File 1085, which is for the Center for Economic Inclusion. This particular organization is known for just being a great organization in our community that is dedicated exclusively to closing racial wealth gaps and creating regional economies that work for everyone. That's key, because it's not just in one part of our wonderful state, it's our entire state. And they have the ideas and presence in order to encourage us to invest directly in Black and brown businesses to build wealth and create family-sustaining jobs, which is important. They are into educating individuals, and we know that when an individual is educated, the family is elevated, and a community and the state is elevated. Last but certainly not least, they also advocate and offer research and tools for assessing and selecting policies and practices to support economic competitiveness and growth. With me, I'm proud to have the CEO and president of this wonderful organization, Tawana Black, and then she will give her brief testimony for around 2 minutes. And then we also have Edna McKenzie, who's from the Midwest Selection Contracting organization, company, something of that nature. She'll correct me. So with that, Madam Chair, if we can present Tawana Black.
Thank you, Mr. Chair or Senator Champion. You have 2 minutes, Tawana, if you want to state your name for the record.
Thank you so much, Madam Chair. Thank you so much, Senator Champion. I am Tawana Black. I'm the founder and CEO of the Center for Economic Inclusion, and I appreciate this wonderful opportunity to be able to testify this afternoon. Again, thank you for this, and thank you, Senator Champion, for your steadfast support to close racial income, wealth, and wealth gaps, and to equip Black and brown business owners and those across the state with, significant opportunities to grow jobs that will do so. I am, again, Tawana Black, the founder and CEO of the Center for Economic Inclusion, and I'm here today to ask for your support and partnership in investing in ways that will grow and accelerate our state's ability to invest in our shared prosperity by diversifying the face of job creation and supply chain growth in our state. I created this organization 6 years ago to support Minnesota's employers, policymakers, and government agencies in their efforts to align their values, strategies, and solutions toward closing racial wealth gaps and delivering on their bottom line objectives to create regional economies that truly work for everyone. Since then, the Center and our team have grown our research, advocacy, and education services to reach more than 12,000 people each year, connecting well over 300 African-American men to jobs that pay family-sustaining wages across our state with your partnership, and supporting Minnesota's businesses in creating job growth across our state with anti-racist, data-informed tools. Over the next 5 years, our team of over 31 diverse Minnesotans will educate and equip 20,000 leaders, employers, and policymakers with the research, education, and organizational capacity and services that they need toward job creation so that 3 million people experience a racially just, inclusive, competitive, and economically vibrant economy. With the investments that we hope, will partner with and invest in, we will also support employers and agencies across the state with these tools to grow our economy, provide capital, connections, and capacity for 60 Black.
If you want to wrap up.
Yes, ma'am, absolutely. Indigenous and businesses so that they can grow their sectors and invest in those businesses so they'll grow their revenues by $11 million. I'm pleased now to introduce Edna McKenzie with Midwest Select, who's benefited from these services and our investment in our Project Vanguard Accelerator.
Great. Edna, you have 2 minutes if you want to state your name for the record.
Sure. My name is Edna McKenzie, and first, thank you for this opportunity to share my experience and the opportunity that I received and the benefit that I received from the Center of Economic Inclusion. So first of all, I just want to say thank you all for your leadership and your work on behalf of Minnesota. So again, my name is Edna McKenzie. I am the owner of Midwest Select Contracting. We are a woman-owned, woman-led, Black-owned and service disabled veteran-owned business. We serve the professional scientific technical industry by providing construction inspection services on transportation infrastructure systems. So we're out there inspecting your roads and your bridges. We're an environmental consulting firm, and we do the material testing. We provide our service to government agencies. So today, my aim for you today is to first share the positive impact the Center of Economic Inclusion has had on my small business, and second, share my perspective as to why all Minnesotans will benefit from the continued service and the building up of one of Minnesota's most valuable assets, the Center of Economic Inclusion. So first, for the impact. The Center of Inclusion launched Project Vanguard as a multi-sector collaborative effect to accelerate wealth and creation opportunities and to build capacity, to identify and leverage opportunities in public and private sector, and to accelerate the journey from ready to scalable. So for Black and Latino women, we know that we are significantly underrepresented in the procurement space, and in growing our business can be difficult. So from moving to ready to scalable, we need funding, and we need support, and we need resources. And most of all, we need opportunities.
If you want to wrap up, Edna.
Okay, so I applied for the grant, was awarded the winner. I'm going to take my award and invest in training my staff. So we provide technical support, so my employees need technical certifications to be on this project. So my funds will be used to train my staff and build my business.
Awesome.
So,
Thank you. And you can also send us a written one if you want it to the rest of your testimony to get to the members. Any questions for Senator Champion members?
What I would say in closing, Madam Chair, is two things. One, you have some information on the center that's in your package that fully fleshes out all the great work that they do and what they will do in the event that the committee decides to resource them going forward. Number two, you've heard very powerful testimony. And last but certainly not least, you have an A2 amendment that I'd like the committee to adopt. So there's an A2 amendment. Do you see the A2 amendment that's in your packet? If you don't have it in your packet, we will consider it if it becomes a part of the omnibus bill. Okay? So again, thank you.
We will consider it as part of the omnibus bill. We don't have that right now.
Okay, got it. So I have it, and we'll certainly consider that as we are putting the omnibus bill together. We know that 2 minutes is not always a whole lot of time, but it's always enough in order for us to talk about this great work. But Tawana Black and the center is not new to us. So it is not as if they are coming to us fresh. They've done great work, and we'll continue to look at supporting that work. So thank you so very much, and thank you, committee, for considering it.
Great. With that, Senate File 1085 will be laid over for possible inclusion.
Thank you so much.
And Senator Champion, you also have Senate File 2000,
Yes, so Senate File 2000, I'd like.
and I believe you have people who are going to testify. Aisha Wadood
Yes,
with
so-
you.
So, yes, she is coming with me. So it looks like we have two. One can come over here, because initially I thought the capable one was going to be with us, but then I heard that it is going to be switched. So that's why we only have one testifier listed, but we'll get to them both really quickly. The bill before you, Senate File number 2000, is an appropriation from the Workforce Development Fund to a grant to Black Women's Wealth Alliance to provide economically eligible individuals with job skills, training, career counseling, and job placement assistance. We believe that this one-time appropriation will lead to support for Black women, their families, because we know that there are a number of head of households that are headed by Black women, and we want to continue to support them because we know when we support them that we support their family and the community and the nation. So with that being said, I would ask for you to give 2 minutes to Kenya McKnight Ahid. She is Black Women's Wealth Alliance founder and CEO, followed by Aisha Wadud, who is with Neura Spa and Holistic Wellness.
Great. Thank you, Senator Champion. Kenny, if you want to state, or you want Aisha to start?
Yes, she said
Okay.
she wants
If
Aisha.
you want to state your name for the record and then keep your testimony to 2 minutes, that would be great.
Absolutely. My name is Aisha Wadud. Sorry about that. My name is Aisha Wadud. I am the owner of Neuro Holistic Massage and Bodywork. First of all, I come from a household of women, all of us, 5 of us. And the Black Women's Wealth Alliance actually took all of us and allowed us to step into our dreams, including my mother. So it is absolutely intergenerational. My now 17-year-old, we won't make her 17 yet, 16. 17 in July, but 16-year-old started at 14 in the Black Women's Wealth Alliance as one of the youth that they brought into one of the institutions that she provided for us for the youth. And my daughter's elated. My family has stepped into growth and development within themselves and in their own profession. The Black Women's Wealth Alliance gives so many backbones, reinforced steel and gold, to walk with confidence in their own companies and in their own personal lives. So it's not just for work or business, it's also for personal development. And this portion of it, for me, has been immense. Because we don't get this in the community as Black women to step forth and say, hey, I'm the CEO of my own company with confidence. So that's my spiel.
Awesome. Thank you. Ms. Kenya, if you want to say your full name for the record and then keep your testimony to 2 minutes.
Yes, Madam Chair, thank you. And committee members, I'm Kenya McKnight Ahid, CEO and founder of the Black Women's Wealth Alliance. We've been around since 2014. I'm also a longtime Northsider for nearly 40 years. I grew up in the same community that I started my business in, and that I now provide services to hundreds of women. So since 2014, we've worked with over 4,500 Black women across the state of Minnesota. We've directly invested over $2 million into their capacity to grow businesses, to explore their jobs and expand their careers. And we also have worked with over 300 students to provide tuition support, transportation support, and support for their laptops and other equipment that they need to be successful. Our primary goal is to build wealth. And we started this institution as 20 women meeting at McDonald's on West Broadway, trying to figure out how to create a pathway for Black women to be successful, because at that time it just did not exist. And so as leaders in this work, we're part of a larger ecosystem, as you've heard from some of our folks that we support, the Center of Economic Inclusion, you're here from Pillsbury. There's a large ecosystem of us out here doing this work. And centrally, our job is to make sure that Black women are successful. As you know, Black women make up nearly 80% of their primary, they're the primary breadwinners of their household in a state of Minnesota that is not equally met with opportunity to support their responsibilities, so much that nearly 50% of Black children are born in and under poverty. Our job is to alleviate that problem by taking care of its caregiver, and that is Black women. For us, a nation rises no higher than its woman, and the conditions and stability of Black women as business owners, as workers, as educators, as students, and just as human beings ultimately dictate the fate of the Black community. So it's essentially our job to make sure she's okay. And that's why we exist, who we serve, and why we're asking for your support today to help us continue doing this work. And with your $1 million appropriation that we're asking for, we can do more.
Great.
Thank you.
That was right at 2 minutes.
Well, guess what? Madam Chair, I couldn't say it any better. So any questions for either of my testifiers before I go to my next bill?
No, with that, this bill will be laid over for possible inclusion.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. And thank you. We are now going to Senate File 1965. I will start this off, and then and I'll ask the other two from Pillsbury to come join me.
Senator Champion, do you want to present it, or do you want somebody to present for you?
So I'll start it off, and I think you're going to be the one to present for me from there. So we probably should give Senator Gustafson the gavel.
Got it.
And while we are making these changes before I have to leave, Madam Chair, 1965 Pillsbury United is a wonderful organization that's been with us. They have a careers pathway program, which was awarded $1 million in the past by the state to support underserved and marginalized students to obtain industry certifications from large educational agencies like the Minneapolis Community College, Dunwoody, public schools, you name it, that allow them to establish themselves in well-paid jobs with high growth potential. I will have one of my testifiers will talk about the key components or overview of the program, and then we have a young one that is sitting to my left here that will talk about her experience, and I don't want to steal her thunder, so I'm going to leave it at that. So, Madam Chair and committee, thank you for looking at Senate File 1965.
Thank you. If you could state your name for the record and then begin when you're ready.
My name is Vanan Murugesan. Good afternoon, Madam Vice Chair Mohamed, Ranking Member Dreheim, and members of the committee. Nursing assistants, HVAC mechanics, dental assistants, computer network specialists. What do all these jobs have in common? They all have a median annual wage of between $40,000 to $50,000. They do not require a college degree. They currently are in high demand, and equally important, are also projected to grow in the next 10 years. Sounds like a wonderful proposition, right? Yet the state has concerns that if it can meet these demands in the future. Once again, my name is Vanan Murugesan, and I'm here to ask for your support for Career Pathways, an initiative not only to solve for those concerns that I mentioned earlier, but it's also a way to help grow strong, middle-class Black and brown families in our state. As we all know, there's a growing amount of youth that feel that college is just not the right path for them due to high costs. And in this kinds of situation, we can often see these youths taking entry-level service industry jobs. They're relatively easy to obtain, but they typically don't offer long-term wage growth and sustainability for their families and community. So we want to short-circuit that experience and tell these youths that there is a better option for them. So what do we do in our program? First, we place high school graduates in accredited institutions to earn industry certificates, and I want to stress this, they are only focused in high-demand, high-potential jobs. That's a big differentiator. Second thing is we provide financial support and wraparound services so they can just focus on learning. 3, we provide internship opportunities so that they can learn about their vocation. And 4, we provide soft skills training to help prepare these youth for the adult workplace environment. And this is what we'll get out of the investment. Upon graduation, they will have a certificate that will allow them to earn an income of over $20 an hour, immediately contributing to the state's economy. I got 5 seconds left. Yes. Over a 5-year period, they will earn about $200 over $1,000. Again, dollars that go back to the state's economy, but equally important, starting a pathway to grow the middle-class families in our state. I strongly believe in this model. I also believe that it is one that can be replicable for other communities in our state. Thank you for your time today.
Thank you. Chair Champion runs a tight ship, so I don't want to let him down. So thank you very much. You may begin when you're ready. State your name for the record.
Hello, my name is Jediah Steele. I am a Curtin student underneath Career Pathways underneath Pillsbury United Communities. Just a little backstory about me. I grew up most of my life on the north side of Minneapolis, and so I dealt firsthand with a lot of the crime that had affected my family, which ended up making me have to move to the suburbs, which I ended up becoming an outcast in because of my skin color. So oftentimes I would adopt the mindset of still being in poverty because my family had to deal with paying for housing and other things that are living necessities at a high cost, which put me under the stereotype that I needed to work before I could ever really pursue what I desired. So the reason why I joined Pillsbury United Communities is because they gave me that open door to get out of that stereotype and to begin school in the career that I really desire, which is human services. Pillsbury United Communities has not only provided me with education, but they have provided me with wraparound services such as tutoring, as well as direction to counseling and other things as well. If it had not been for them, I honestly would not be where I am today. I would probably be some kid normally stereotypes as a brown child, working at a very low-income job, trying to start out my things. But with everything that Pillsbury United has invested in me, I'm also going to invest back into my community because I believe in doing that. So with every cent that I receive from Pillsbury United Communities, I've been actually saving it to a savings account to then be able to go to college to Howard University to major in psychology, as I will be in social work fields to give back to my community. I want to be able to have my own business centrally located in North Minneapolis for one-stop shop self-care, to just be able to give back to my community.
Fantastic. We're so glad you're here. Members, any questions? All right, seeing none, this bill will be laid over for possible inclusion. Thank you so much. Are we passing it back to Senator Mohamed? She's presenting. Okay. All right, Senator Mohamed, you have SF 2360. And if Katie Bachmeyer could approach as the testifier, that would be wonderful.
Awesome, thank you. Members, before you, Senate File 2360, which provides an increase to the base budget appropriation for the redevelopment grant program administered by DEED. The redevelopment grant program helps local communities fill the financial gap that often exists for projects looking to reuse and redevelop existing sites. While the initial investment cost is to redevelop a previously used site, it can also seem really daunting prospect. The return of it in investment for these types of redevelopment projects is extremely impressive. And as you can see in your handouts, there's a handout from DEED, which has a lot of information in it, which I think is really good and relevant to this. The redevelopment program over the years has invested over $80 million in state investment and has leveraged over $3.5 billion in private investments, which has helped create over 30,000 jobs. In my district, the program was successfully utilized in 2021 to clean up a redevelopment former city public works site building to pave the way for a 100 unit senior. I cannot speak today. 100-unit senior apartment building at Snelling Yards. Another project in my district was just funded in the latest grant rounds last month, which will help prepare a former Perkins restaurant site to be redeveloped into a 6-story site and 155-unit apartments. I have few testifiers with me, but I think my district has had some benefits from this, and I think other folks in other districts across the state have had, and so they're asking for more money for the program. And so hopefully you'll support, and I'll stand for questions.
testifier first. And if I pronounce it, Katie Bachmeyer?
Bachmeyer, yes.
Bachmeyer,
Yeah,
all
you're
right. Thank you for
close.
stating your name for the record. Begin when you're ready.
Yes, good afternoon, Madam Chair and members of the committee. My name is Katie Bachmeyer, and I am here today representing the Economic Development Association of Minnesota, or EDAM as we call it, as board president. EDAM is a statewide association with over 500 members in both public and private sectors in rural and urban areas from all corners of the state. And we are very grateful to the committee for taking time today to hear SF 2360, a bill that would increase the base funding level for the redevelopment grant program at DEED from roughly $2 million up to $8 million. With 2 grant rounds administered per year, split between the 7-county metro area and greater Minnesota, the increase provided in this bill could allocate $2 million in redevelopment funds to both the metro and greater Minnesota in each grant round. Funding for redevelopment is the highest program priority identified by EDAM members through our survey, and current demand for this program greatly exceeds supply. While we appreciate DEED's transfer authority from the Minnesota Investment Fund to help fund redevelopment, EDAM's members would like to see dedicated and reliable line item funding for this vital program because redevelopment projects are complex, multifaceted, and require extensive time and planning to be successful. Consistent and predictable funding would help our communities prepare for these impactful but complicated projects and deliver powerful value in both rural and urban areas. As you can see in the materials included in your packet, the program has resulted in the redevelopment of 1,450 acres of land, as well as the creation or retention of 30,000 jobs and the addition of 8,500 housing units across the state. This adds vibrancy and revitalized spaces across Minnesota to help meet our community's needs. Given the impressive track record of this program, EDAM feels that stable, consistent, and reliable funding for the redevelopment grant program would deliver a huge return on investment for our communities. On behalf of EDAM's 506 members statewide, we respectfully ask that the redevelopment grant program receives an increase to its base funding level. Thank you for the time, and thank you, Senator Mohamed. I'm happy to answer questions now or after the hearing.
Thank you so much. Members, any questions? All right, seeing none, this bill will be laid over for possible inclusion, and I will hand the gavel back over to Vice Chair Mohamed.
Great. Was I not supposed to? Was that wise for him? No. He said that in my ear. I was like, okay, no one told me that. Senator Putnam, you can begin your testimony.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I am clearly not Senator Champion in just about any way, but I will be playing his role for the next 2 bills. The first, I believe, is Senate File 1604, which is an appropriation for the Boys and Girls Club of the Minnesota Alliance of Boys and Girls Clubs. We've talked about Boys and Girls Clubs in this committee before. Don't have much more to say other than they are awesome and we should fund them. It's pretty basic stuff. I think the last time we talked about Boys and Girls Club, I told you a little story about something that they're doing at the Southside Boys and Girls Club in St. Cloud right now, which is essentially job training through virtual reality. It's amazing, cool stuff that is happening in Boys and Girls Clubs in the communities and neighborhoods throughout our state. And this is our opportunity to support that work and to support the kids who go there. Madam Chair, I'd like to turn it over to our testifiers for the sake of efficiency and because they're smarter than I am on this stuff. So if we could start with Mr. Donaldson, that would be great.
Great. Mr. Donaldson, if you want to state your name for the record, and you have 2 minutes, and I'm keeping a tight timeline now.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and Chair Putnam is more than a pinch hitter for us, a longtime supporter, and he couldn't have said it any better. I can't say it any better than he did, and we appreciate his support as we do many of the friendly faces in this room over the years. So as you probably well know, the Minnesota Alliance of Boys and Girls Clubs is a collaboration of 12 independent Boys and Girls Clubs organizations across the state. We serve 25,000 young people in 33 communities annually, providing a safe and positive environment for children to learn, grow, and succeed. Youth pay little to nothing to attend a Boys and Girls Club. The Minnesota Boys and Girls Club have partnered with the legislature and DEED over the last 13 years to bring comprehensive workforce training and development to club youth in many communities where youth would not otherwise have that opportunity. Programs in soft skill development, career exploration, applying, interviewing, as well as money management and goal setting have helped prepare Minnesota's youth at Boys and Girls Clubs for their great futures. Last year in Minnesota, 67% of club's youth had work experience, and 94% of club youth reported that they felt that they were prepared to enter the workforce. SF 1604 would once again provide matching funds to clubs across the state to help prepare youth for their great futures. Additionally, this bill would allow clubs, especially in greater Minnesota, to invest in a virtual reality job training and exploration system that would bring them opportunities they could not be able to access before. To tell you more about club work and career development in the metro area, please welcome C.J. Jackson, who's the director of the Jerry Gamble Club in Minneapolis.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. You can begin your testimony and state your name for the record.
My name is Chandra Jackson. I am the branch director at Jerry Gamble Boys and Girls Club in North Minneapolis, and the program that I'm going to talk to you guys about is Career Pathways, which is a program that essentially all of the members of the Boys and Girls Club benefit from because we started right away in kindergarten when they come to the club. I wanted to share a story about a specific member who's really had a lot of benefit from the club. She started, this particular opportunity started when she was in 5th grade. And she's one of 12 siblings. She has 12 siblings in her family, and she was interested in starting some merchandise. So the young lady, we helped her create an LLC, and she started to sell merchandise. She likes to play basketball, so she made hoodies and everything like that. It was a great experience for her to be able to learn about starting her own business, but it was even more impactful to hear the family come in and talk about how much it helped their family, and also inspired the family to start a lawn and leaf business, and just helped elevate the family. The young lady has continued to sell her merchandise and just elevate herself. It's been wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you. And then do you have another testifier? Will you be testifying? Great. Will you state your name for the record? And you have 2 minutes as well.
Hello, everyone. Hi, Chair. My name is Lamar Ability. Yeah, so I just want to speak on my experience with the Boys and Girls Clubs. I'm an immigrant from Liberia. So as you guys all know, being an immigrant is very, very hard to come into a new country, to learn a new language, culture, and really fit into a new system, right? But fortunately for me, I had the Boys and Girls Club. I had a place where I had a community, I had people, I had a family. And I was one of those kids where in high school, I got into a lot of troubles. I didn't know I was going to graduate high school, but because of the Boys and Girls Club and the programmings that I was fortunate enough to be a part of, I learned a lot of skills. I learned how to be a good leader, a good communicator, a good friend, and a good neighbor. And fast forward today, I went the Boys and Girls Club, with the help of the Boys and Girls Club, I went on to college. I graduated high school, went on to college, graduated college, and today I'm a business owner. And the skills that I learned within the Boys and Girls Club, I'm implementing those firsthand in my business today. I'm a founder of a reusable water bottle company that helps provide clean, safe water to people in need. And one of the components to our business is really, really tied to what we learned from the Boys and Girls Club, the need to care about people, to care about your community, and to give back to people that needs it the most. So it's a pleasure to be here with you all today, and yeah.
Great, thank you. I believe that's it for your testimony. Great. Members, questions? Senator Housley.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and thank you. I love all of the things you do at the Boys and Girls Club, but maybe this goes to Mr. Donaldson. I know when we sat on the Jobs Committee before in 2021, through the Workforce Development Fund, you received $750,000. Can you just give a high-level view of where those funds went?
Mr. Donaldson.
Yeah, Madam Chair, Senator, again, we've had a long-time partnership with this committee and DEED, and those funds primarily go towards workforce development programming. So for the younger kids, that's money management, so staff to work the money management programs, teach our money management skills. It's soft skills, how to how to relate to people, how to use a telephone, how to write an email, things like that. As kids get older in their teenage years, it starts to go into job exploration. So we have a job exploration program to find out what it is that they might be good at, what they want to do, identify the training that they want to, if they identify a job they want, identify the training they'll need. And then as they progress through high school, then we help them to learn how to write a resume, apply for jobs. We help them apply for jobs. And in some cases, some of those funds go to give those youth their first jobs as assistants at the Boys and Girls Club, helping with the youth development staff and the youth in the clubs.
Senator Housley, follow-up?
No, thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you, Mr. Donaldson.
Members, any other questions for Senator Putnam or the testifiers? Seeing none, this bill will be laid over for possible inclusion. Oh, sorry, will you say your final comment?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just wanted to make sure that I thanked Senator Champion's co-authors, me, and Senators Rasmussen, Pappas, and Eichhorn. And I'm glad to have an opportunity to talk about the Boys and Girls Club again and look forward to us supporting it.
Great. This bill will be laid over for possible inclusion. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
All right, and Senator Putnam, you also have Senate File 2025, and you've got folks joining you to testify. You can begin.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I am still not Senator Bobby Joe Champion, but this is another incredibly important opportunity for us to help people who help people, which I think is kind of our charge in the Senate, and especially in this committee. This is a pay-for-performance grant program of $700,000 in fiscal year 24 and 25 to go to Twin Cities Rise. And Twin Cities Rise is an incredible organization. They do things like comprehensive work skills training, personal empowerment training and coaching, employment placement services, Reentry Connect for integrated support for previously incarcerated adults. They do lots of really, really good things. And perhaps to illustrate those good things and give us a little bit more detail about them, we can turn to our testifiers if we could, Madam Chair.
Great, thank you. Emma Curry, is that you? Okay, awesome. You want to begin, state your full name for the record, and then keep your testimony to 2 minutes, please.
Thank you so much, Madam Chair. Senator Putnam, members of the committee here, thank you so much for your long-standing support, every one of you, for Twin Cities Rise. In fact, in this case, for the past 26 years. My name is Emma Corey, and I'm the president and CEO of Twin Cities Rise. I have the honor to serve this organization that is a jewel in North Minneapolis, an organization that has been dedicated for the past 30 years to serving and transforming the lives of those impacted by racial and socioeconomic barriers. We do this and we believe in our curriculum that is based in personal empowerment and then layered on with career training and employment. I am here to ask for your support for the Pay for Performance bill that was started back in 1997 with your support, many of you. And today we ask to continue that support. We only get paid when we place. That is at the essence of this bill. And again, we are asking for the continuation of this. The 3 reasons why I ask for your support is, 1, it is based in accountability. It is based on performance. 2nd, it is based on working with folks coming out of incarceration. So again, second chances. We are looking at second chances with those that benefit most from these programs. And the 3rd thing that I want to focus on is that because we don't look at just the job and the long-term support and success of our candidates, we are basing this work on personal empowerment. And for those 3 reasons, I ask for your support for the Pay for Performance bill for Twin Cities Rise. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Awesome, that was great. 2 minutes. Alex Merritt, do you want to state your name for the record?
Sure, thank you, Madam Chair. Alex Merritt, Vice President of Program Operations at Twin Cities Rise. Imagine this statement: I lost everything, but I'm here with my family in a whole nother state with people I don't know. Those are the words of Twin Cities Rise graduate Nakenge Robertson after being displaced by Hurricane Katrina and finding herself here in Minneapolis. Her success journey was filled with trial and tribulation. And one day, fresh out of treatment, she found herself on a bus stop. And Twin Cities Rise advertisement caught our eye, and she thought we would be her answer. So she gave us a call. Twin Cities Rise Career Pathways training program, the reality is it's been an answer for thousands of Minnesotans. And being able to develop skills required for meaningful employment through our personal empowerment program and our career training. She was able to go through it and found herself on a path to success. Our social return on investment done by the Ecotone analysis indicates that for every dollar invested in Twin Cities Rise, there's a $7 return on investment, which is pretty significant. And today, Nakinj is the lead manager at New Way Treatment Center here in Minnesota. She finds herself being able to help those realize their core value of being lovable, important, and valuable. She learned that at Twin Cities Rise. In addition to that, Twin Cities Rise also impacts generations. Today, Nakinja's daughter is in Twin Cities Rise's program, and it's going through. And the only reason we know it is because she exclaimed, she's like, oh my, that's my mom on a video when we were highlighting her. And so we thank you for your support for this bill, because with your support and efforts, you are continuing to make sure that people have the tools, skills, and support they need to become empowered and employed. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Osgood, if I said your name correctly, if you want to restate it and begin your testimony.
Quentin Osgood. My name is Quentin Osgood. Thank you, Madam Chair, Senator Putnam, and members of the committee. As Twin Cities Rise seeks to transform lives of those impacted by racial and socioeconomic barriers through personal empowerment, career training, and meaningful employment, I sit before you a transformed life. I came to Twin Cities Rise, 1, because I needed a job, 2, because I had just gotten married, and 3, because I had criminal background. I was working in Minnesota Teen Challenge, but they started working with the state and they had to let me go effective immediately. I found Twin Cities Rise and a job for free. Hey, that's me. But I found out you had to put in what used to be a bad word to me, WORK. And once I started putting in the work, things started to happen, and I realized that I was somebody. Because you see, I came to Twin Cities Rise with 26 years of criminal activity, 15 felonies. I had been in the system for 26 straight years. But because of what Twin Cities Rise had taught me about me, to help me to learn that I was lovable, important, and valuable, I was able to live because I internalized life from a different perspective within myself. And I started working and teaching classes, empowerment classes in the same correctional facilities. I received an honorable discharge from the state, and started working with my PO and the same judges. And I even had lunch with some of the guards in the same prison system. They used to put me in the hole, and it was just life-changing. It is life-changing even to this day. So there's no longer surprise that positive things are happening at Twin Cities Rise, because it's not just me. We've helped thousands of individuals. Thank you.
Thank you. Members, question? Senator Nelson.
Thank you, Madam Chair. My question, we know Twin Cities Rise has a wonderful reputation, and thank you for sharing your stories or your colleagues' stories. I was just reading, though, kind of explain to me, if you could, a little bit about how you use the funding. Because I read that, you know, the funding is contingent upon placing a participant for at least a year in a job, a year in that job. And I'm just curious about, how do you use that funding then? Does it go to the individual? And I kind of did some back of the napkin math, and what it looks like, if you have 60 individuals for 2 years, it's just about not quite $1,000 per student or per participant. So tell me about how you use those funds.
Go ahead.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you, Senator Nelson, for your question. Absolutely. So the way Pay for Performance works is that we are working on a budget that is possible because of our diverse portfolio. We have individual donors that have supported Twin Cities Rise for 30 years. on a regular basis. And so what we have as a diverse portfolio for our budget is 1/3 is individual donors, 1/3 is corporations and foundations, and the other third is a mix of government grants and earned revenue through our own Empowerment Institute. That is the way we are able to upfront the training dollars for our programs. We have 4 programs, career pathway programs. And so that is the way we are upfronting the training. And then when we get paid for performance, of course, that allows us to continue to keep the lights on and continue to pay our bills with our staff. So that is the funding model. Yes, our candidates do receive a small incentive during the program so that, again, they are coming from all walks of life with little or no employment, and so that does serve both as a motivation and a sustenance during the 8-week program.
Senator Nelson,
Oh, thank you,
follow-up?
Madam Chair. Yes, that's a wonderful model, and thank you for sharing that.
Thank you.
Senator Ham?
Thank you, Chair, and thank you for your work. Twin Cities Rise is, not only does great work, but I also like the structure of how it's pay for performance. You get rewarded for the work you do, and I think we need more of that in state government as resources become tighter and tighter. This year we don't have to worry about it, but I just wanted to say thank you.
Any other questions, members? Awesome. With that, final word, Senator Putnam.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Again, I'd like to thank Senator Champion's co-authors, you, Madam Chair, and me again. But I also want to take a moment to thank our testifiers, Ms. Corey, Ms. Merritt, and Mr. Osgood, for their compelling stories, their time here to share them, and for the great work they do in their communities.
Awesome. With that, this bill will be laid over for possible inclusion. Last but not least, Senator Putnam, we have your bill up, Senate File 1807. And you have testifiers with you, Dr. Holmes and Santa Cruz. Do you want to start with the video, Senator Putnam?
Yes, please. Yes, please.
Okay, great. We have a video that we'll start with before Senator Putnam starts with his opening remarks.
Across Minnesota, we know that our rural population is aging. Along with that aging comes more health problems. Compounding this whole situation is the fact that our rural healthcare workforce is dwindling.
People know that we don't have as many doctors in rural Minnesota as we need. What they may not know is that we don't have as many rural people going into medical school and becoming doctors.
As our communities age, our physicians age too, and we have to replace those primary care providers, those nurses, those APPs, those respiratory therapists, those lab techs.
Ensuring that just because we live in a rural geography, the people we serve will not get inferior care.
We recognize that there are significant gaps in healthcare in rural America. We also recognize that the solution to filling those gaps and addressing those issues means having an educational and a professional and a career development that is based in those communities.
If you want a people like doctors practice in rural Minnesota, you train them in rural Minnesota because they will develop extra-medical relationships. They will be friends with the families that they have taken care of there.
So how do Jacob and I, the University of Minnesota and CentraCare, collaborate and create an environment where we can be successful and bring that learning, that education, that expertise to you?
We want to make sure that people get the right care at the right time, at the right place, and that right place is as close to home as possible.
So we have a partnership with CentraCare on their St. Cloud Family Medicine Residency Program, and it's been a wonderful partnership.
Our residency program has a focus on training for rural practice.
But it has been shown time and again in various parts of the country that if you train people in the rural areas, they tend to remain close by.
I came from a smaller town and I wanted to raise my family in a smaller town. In residency, I went through my training in St. Cloud, where they have a focus and an emphasis on training rural physicians for full spectrum family medicine. I think it's important for that training to occur in a rural area because the type of medicine that we practice is so different. Those patient relationships and community relationships are a lot different, and the breadth of what we do is different. So I really think it's important for training to occur in a rural area so that the practitioner can be fully trained in all of the aspects of rural medicine that you don't get when you're practicing medicine in a big city.
It's been such a joy to get to know my patients over the last 20 years and to see the elementary school kids that say, I want to be a doctor when I grow up. And I usually say to them, that is so good, and I want you to be a doctor because I need to retire someday. And that's why this project is so important, to be able to recruit people that are from small towns, make this an avenue for them to learn to practice in a small community.
University of Minnesota has been around for quite some time and has gathered that gravity of having real excellence, competitive excellence in education, in training of the physicians, and having the ability to partner with others.
In most of our communities, healthcare is a major force for doing good. Doing good. Economic development. Jobs.
And this is going to be incredibly important, not just for healthcare, not just for the attraction of the physicians to rural Minnesota if you train them there, but for the society in general.
We want to participate in that journey with you, a patient, a community member, a medical student, a resident, a staff member. Let's do it together.
Senator Putnam.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'm me this time, and that's important because I'm here as an advocate for Greater Minnesota. We all know, or we should know, that health outcomes in rural areas and in Greater Minnesota are worse than they are in our urban areas in this state. If you live in a rural area, you have a greater risk of cancer, a greater risk of heart disease, a greater risk of accidental injury. These are real challenges, real threats facing people in Greater Minnesota right now. And in addition to this danger that we face, there are incredible difficulties in even achieving basic health care. Only 11% of physicians practice in rural areas right now. And 1/3 of those physicians are set to retire in the next couple years. It's a bad problem and it's getting worse. This proposal supports a partnership between the University of Minnesota and CentraCare to create a medical school in St. Cloud on the CentraCare campus that would turn out 20 to 24 doctors a year. And these are doctors who would work in Greater Minnesota, who would work in rural Minnesota, who would build relationships and families in rural Minnesota and have a tremendous impact on the quality of our health and on our economy. The last medical school started in the state of Minnesota apparently was in 1972 in Duluth. That's as old as I am. We've both changed a lot in the last 50 years. And it's about time that we invested in this incredible and necessary opportunity right now. This new medical school will keep people healthier, get people healthier, and you got to be healthy before you get to work. So, Madam Chair, members, I have a bunch of incredibly knowledgeable and passionate people here who can talk to the strength and the necessity of this proposal. So I'd like to turn to testifiers, if I could, please, Madam Chair.
Awesome. Thank you, Senator Putnam. Should we start with Dr. Holmes?
Thank you. Thank you, Senator Putnam, Madam Chair, committee members. I'm Dr. Ken Holman. I'm the president and CEO of CentraCare. CentraCare is based in St. Cloud. We're a not-for-profit integrated care delivery system. We have roughly 13,000 employees that serve 700,000 Minnesotans in 43 counties. Our job is to take care of our people. Why are we here? Why are you here? In 1868, the state of Minnesota was formed, and the key function of leaders, is to address challenges of today and invest in opportunities for tomorrow. That is why you're here. That is why we are here. And in fact, that's why the legislative body was created after the state of Minnesota, right? To address challenges and create opportunities. That's why the University of Minnesota was formed roughly 151 years ago. And that's exactly why the predecessors of CentraCare, St. Cloud Hospital, and all the communities we're in, the Sisters of St. Benedict, county commissioners, mayors, said healthcare is really important, and it still is. This bill is focused precisely on addressing challenges of today and investing in creating opportunities for tomorrow. And I'm going to borrow something yours you just said a minute ago because it resonates with me. We are in the business of people serving people. We all get that the business is complicated, right? Politics is complicated. It's big money. We get that. But I'd like to get to the why and the shared sense of purpose. And that purpose is people serving people. And this bill focuses on 3 sets of people. First of all is our workforce. You've heard a lot about the workforce shortage in American healthcare, and it's more pronounced in rural areas. So while this is about a medical school, and it absolutely is, for every physician, there are 10 to 12 support roles that we need. So this is a broad collaboration with not only the University of Minnesota, but with other academic institutions, including the state college system and private colleges. We need more folks passionate about healthcare in the future. The second group of people is our patients. Senator Putnam referred you to the outcomes. Rural Minnesota is more diverse. It is more challenged than ever before. And we need to have a coming together of a sense of purpose to say, we're going to make a difference. We're going to make a difference in the lives of our workforce today and tomorrow. We're going to make a difference in the patients that we serve and their families today and tomorrow. And as you could see in that video, a third group of people is our broader community. 1 in 8 to 1 in 10 jobs in our geography are related to healthcare. It's Main Street. It's farmers. It's bakers. It's restaurant owners. It's the Chevy dealer. It's the Ford dealer. It's our churches. In other words, the ecosystem that healthcare is fundamentally a primary part of is a beneficiary of our investment in this new collaboration with the University of Minnesota. So as I finish with the why, to me the why is very straightforward. Addressing challenges of today, investing in opportunities for tomorrow, and doing it in a way in which we, the people, serve the people. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Dr. Holman. Mr. Cruz?
Thank you for saying my name correctly, Madam Chair. Members, that doesn't happen to me every day. For those of you who I've not had a chance to meet, I've done hundreds of hours, maybe not hundreds of hours, but a lot of testimony up here with many of your bills. I served in the Dayton administration. I served in the Department of Commerce, Department of Agriculture, and Department of Human Services before returning home to CentraCare. You saw the video, the town of Melrose, the double water towers. I was born in a critical access hospital and grew up on a gravel road in rural Stearns County. Me and my brothers and sisters milked cows like the ones you saw on that video. And then I moved to the big city. And I lived here for 20 years, but roughly. We've had 4 daughters in the city, and my 5th daughter was born in a CentraCare critical access hospital, just like her dad. And what I will tell you is what CentraCare stands for, and I think what this legislature must appreciate, is that you're not just investing money. You're not just sending money out to the prairie. As you know, so much of the money sends not only the dollars and cents, it sends a message. It sends a very important message that the communities and the ways of life that you're investing in are worthwhile, deserve investment, and face significant challenges that can be foreseen and addressed. And I think it's important that we as CentraCare be held accountable to our responsibility to our geography. I want you to know that, yes, this is a lot of money. We follow GAAP accounting. Our CFO is here today. He can answer all your questions. Don't ask the lawyer to do math. That's why Mike is here. He will answer all your questions about the ones and zeros and the numbers and columns around this investment. But I want to share with you how meaningful it was to be asked or to be admitted to law school as a rural Latino. It was very, very meaningful, very, very meaningful. And the fact that now I get to go serve the community I grew up in and the hospital I was born in with that law degree is very, very meaningful. It gives my life great purpose. And this investment that you all could make is a message to rural Minnesota, to rural Latinos, rural Somalis, rural farm kids, rural you name it. Working in a factory today. My dad was a migrant field worker and then eventually became a factory worker when I was a kid in Melrose at the milk processing plant. To be given that idea that you can be an educated individual serving your community in different ways is hugely impactful. And that's not only just the money, that's the message this committee and this legislature can send to rural Minnesota about its way of life. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Cruz. Will you state your name for the record?
Santo Cruz.
Awesome. And then Mr. Blair?
Yes, I'm Mike Blair, and I'm the Chief Financial Officer at CentraCare.
And you can begin your testimony.
Yeah, absolutely, and I'll share some financial numbers with you. But first, I just want to back up and thank you first, Madam Chair, and thank you, Senator Putnam. And Senator Putnam said a couple things that were really, really important there. One is he talked about the disparities today in terms of healthcare access. The fact that 20% of or 20% of U.S. residents live in rural areas, but only 11% of physicians practice in those areas. So there's already an access issue. And then you layer on the fact that the median age of physicians practicing in rural Minnesota is 58. And 33% of them are saying they will leave the profession within 5 years. And what's really concerning is of incoming medical students, only 4% of them are coming from rural areas. We have a crisis today, and that crisis is going to get worse. So that really is what brought us together with the University of Minnesota to, one, create a 4-year school based in St. Cloud with the intent to attract students who want to go on to practice in rural areas. And once you educate them, you have to train them. So they have to go through a training program, and we already have a training program. We have 18 residents. We are committed to expand that to more than 50, and we will expand it to include obstetrics and general surgery. We will include mental health, pediatrics, specialties that are vastly underrepresented in rural areas. But we have to attract these students. So we need scholarship dollars for that. And what we want to do is attract those because the statistics show that if a student comes from a rural area, or if the student doesn't come from a rural area, but they educate in a rural area, or they train in a rural area, they are 3 times more likely to practice in that rural area. So we are asking for funding for the medical school to expand the residency program, for scholarships, and lastly, to create a research institute that's focused on doing health research for rural residents.
What does it do?
And with that, Madam Chair, I will turn it back over to you for any questions that the committee may have.
Thank you, Mr. Blair. Do we also have Dr. Rosenberg?
Yes, we do.
Will you be testifying today? Okay, awesome. Before we get to questions, Senator Putnam, you have the A1 amendment?
Yes, Madam Chair, I'd like to move the A1 amendment, please.
Okay. A1 amendment.
Madam Chair, basically all that does is it adds a sentence that makes sure that these resources, although given essentially to the University of Minnesota, that they will be spent on this project in St. Cloud specifically and exclusively.
Great, thank you. All those in favor for the A1 amendment, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? All right, the amendment passes. I'm getting better at this. Members, questions for Senator Putnam or his testifiers? Senator Housley?
Thank you, Madam Chair, and thank you, Senator Putnam. I like it. I like CentraCare health system. But we don't usually, at the legislature, appropriate money that is available until expended. And good to see you, Mr. Cruz. Seen you around this place for years. When do you expect the first dollars of this appropriation to be spent?
Well, Madam Chair and members, what I'll say is that some of that is dependent upon LCME accreditation. And so as soon as possible. And so I know that it is rare to have available until spent, But it's important that this committee realize that we're asking for one-time money. We don't intend to come back. We don't intend to come back in the tails or the out years or any number of government accounting future time. We really just see this as startup money to get the sustainability. It's also important for this committee to understand that we don't see this as a net win for the CentraCare bottom line. So CentraCare will be putting its own money in this as well as philanthropy. So we have kind of 3 buckets of money that we'd be using. If you're looking to, to make money in healthcare, you don't open a medical school. So it is absolutely a cost, and we're sharing that burden with the state. The reason why available to spent is so important is we really need that corpus of fund to create that forgivable loan program to recruit those students. Because what's happening right now is that we actually think there's great latent demand for people to serve our population, our communities. What ends up happening is they look at their student loans, they look at what they need to do to make their own economic situation work out, and they go, I gotta go to the city, I gotta go do this, I gotta go do that, I gotta become this kind of specialist. What we need are mental health, primary care, OB in rural Minnesota. And we can incentivize that if we can say, we can help you solve for some of the debt crisis that you're experiencing. You don't have to go back to the metro. You can stay where you have relationships. You don't have to go into a specialty that you think will be more lucrative. You can stay in the one you feel called to. And that's what this corpus of money would be largely used for.
Senator Halsey, follow-up?
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you, Mr. Cruz. Why the 72 million? Where did that number come from? And do we have a breakdown in each of these categories that you want to spend it? How much will be going to where?
Thank you, Senator Housley. We do have a breakdown. So if we break that down over, there's really 4 funding priorities. The first is to support the medical school. And we've done projections out over the next 10 years, financial projections, and the cost to educate those students will exceed tuition by about $2 million per year. So we're looking at a 10-year funding. That's about $20 million. Similar with the residency program, as we expand that residency program from 18 to well over 50, we're projecting that there will also be just slightly more than $2 million funding gap between the cost of educating those and training those physicians. And we do pay salary and benefits, so the cost of salary and benefits for those residents, we can't bill for those, or the residents can't bill. And then the gap between graduate medical education and then the Minnesota MERC program is about $2.2 million. That works out to about $22 million over the 10-year time period. And then as Santo talked about, what's really critical is funding for scholarship and loan forgiveness so that we can attract those students and get those students early in high school and encourage them to go into medical education, and also to encourage, for example, through loan programs, that if you will agree to stay and practice in a rural area, we will forgive a portion or potentially all of the cost of going through the medical school. That's $20 million. And lastly, $10 million to create a rural-focused rural research institute with the intent that we will focus on those things that drive better health outcomes in rural areas.
Thank you, Mr. Blair. Senator Draham?
No,
do you have a
that's fine.
follow-up,
Thank you,
Senator
Madam
Halsey?
Chair. No,
Okay.
I'll wait.
Senator Draham?
Thank you, Chair, and sorry, Senator Housley. I guess Senator Putnam, worthy effort on this. I agree we need more practitioners in southern Minnesota, but I do think if and when this bill moves forward, we add a little more detail to that blank appropriation. I think it's good governance to be a little more detailed and spelled out. So thank you for bringing that forward. It definitely needed, but before I would support it, I would need more detail. Thank you.
Senator Putnam, do you want to respond?
Thank you, Madam Chair, and thank you, Senator Graham. That's fantastic advice again, and very much appreciated, and will be implemented.
Okay. Senator Nelson?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I've been looking for this bill. I've heard a lot about the rural-focused medical school in St. Cloud. So this is the first time I've heard it. I'm excited about that. We know there's a great need. Some of my questions have been answered. And I was just, so let me just ask a couple of them, and then maybe the right person can come up with the answer. One, I'm wondering, where are these, are they residents that you'll be training? Who will you be training, and where will they get their clinical experience?
Madam Chair, members, I can answer that at first, and maybe if Dean Rosenberg wants to come up and answer part of that. So it's important to realize that there's two components to the medical school. There's first just the medical education and getting your degree. And then once you have that degree, then there's the residency program. And so this is really aimed at both. So the medical school kind of has a belt suspenders, so to speak, in terms of the medical school itself is creating the curriculum around that and the accreditation around that. But then it's not responsible to then strand that medical student for their clinical rotations. They should have a pool of residency programs that they can apply to, especially where they currently are, because that's really where that clinical relationship will be built. So to answer your second question specifically, they will rotate throughout our rural footprint. So that would be in St. Cloud and in our critical access hospitals. There's referred to as a tweener in Wilmer, something that's not a critical access hospital, not a tertiary care facility. And so they will get a wide breadth of experience outside of the classroom to fulfill their clinical work through the GME funding and through the supplemental funding that this program. The other thing that's important to recognize as we think about St. Cloud is that over half the patients, it's a 489-bed facility. It's the biggest hospital, the only tertiary care facility from Maple Grove to the Dakotas. So it is public infrastructure that we support in terms of, and we have to be good stewards of that, because if you need tertiary care and you are west of Maple Grove, you're probably coming to the St. Cloud Hospital. So when we go on divert, there's real consequences to that. It's not as though there's another tertiary care facility within a mile or two. So we have an immense responsibility, but it's important to realize because of that geography, that 489-bed facility, over half of the patients in every bed every day are from a rural zip code. So you think of CentraCare as, in terms of based in St. Cloud, it's kind of a city. People in St. Cloud would not consider themselves rural more than likely. But in terms of the medicine we practice, the majority of our patients in the St. Cloud Hospital are from a rural zip code. And so that's the experience that they would get within the school in the residency program as well.
Senator Nelson.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and thank you, Mr. Cruz. So yes, highly focused on that rural aspect, and good to know where those medical training, where that medical in practicums will be. I'm just a little bit confused about a couple things. I'll just kind of talk about them, and then you can explain what I'm missing. So this is part of the University of Minnesota Med School. And, unfortunately, we only have 2 medical schools in our state. So this is part of the U of M Med School. So my question is, if it's part of the U of M Med School, it's just in a different location with a different focus on rural. I want to know, I think you mentioned accreditation, and does it need to be accredited? And then how is the funding different for this $72 million as opposed to our other medical schools, either one? How is the funding different? I know one of you mentioned Merck funding, which I think is how we often finance our medical schools, but how is this funding? I don't remember.
Sure.
How is the $72 million different than our other medical school funding?
We're going to invite Dean Rosenberg to come up, and then Mike is going to say a few words. But first, I'll answer your question very, very specifically. Madam Chair and members.
Mr. Cruz, you have to go through the chair.
Yes, I caught myself.
I'm new, but I know that part.
That's right. So, Madam Chair and members, what I'd say is the specific answer to the question is that Merck funding is just for the residency side, not directly for the medical school itself. So that's why we have that kind of the student versus the residency program, because you can't bill for the resident and do that work. What is unique about this relationship and different than the examples of Duluth or the private one at the Mayo or right here in the metro area is that we would be partnering with them on our property with our assets to create a medical campus. So very, very similar to what's going on in Duluth at first, because Duluth is a 2-year program. And so really that's the model that we're following in terms of that expansion. The accreditation, if CentraCare were to go and try and create its own medical school, the years that we would take to get accreditation without having a previous accreditation of a higher Institute of Higher Learning already would be enough years that the crisis that we're predicting and talking about would be upon us, and it would not be a responsible way to address it. That's why we have so much gratitude for the University of Minnesota actually willing to help us go through the accreditation and using their accreditation to create a campus in St. Cloud to focus on a rural, not just medical school, but also residency program. So that's kind of the general answer, but the specific kind of like, where does the line draw? I want to make sure that I give a chance for Dean Rosenberger to talk about that.
So
Mr.
Mark
Rosenberg.
Rosenberg, Madam Chair, Senator Nelson, committee, the way the medical school is accredited is the main campus in the Twin Cities, and then we have a regional campus that's part of the medical school's accreditation, and the plan is to add a second regional campus, which many states have in St. Cloud. So it's a single accreditation that's recognized by our accreditation body, with now we'll have 3 campuses, 2 regional campuses and a main campus. The one other point, if I could answer your previous question too, I mean, there's 2 phases in medical education. There's medical school and getting your MD degree, and then there's specialty training, so residency training, and just increasing the number of medical students wouldn't be effective unless we also gave them a pathway to do their residency training and get, certified in either family medicine or whatever specialty they chose.
Senator Nelson?
Thank you, Madam Chair. And just one final question. Thanks for the clarity. I was just concerned when I heard accreditation. I thought, how can you be, why would you need to be accredited when you're part of the U of M Med School? So that was very helpful to explain how those different campuses have their own accreditation under that. So back to 72 million. So how many medical students do you expect to start off? How many medical students do you think, and when do you think you will open for that medical education? And then could be 4 years or 2 years till residency.
Mr. Rosenberg?
So the medical school currently has 240 students a year, 960 in total. 130 start off in our Duluth campus for their first 2 years, and then join in the Twin Cities for their 3rd and 4th year, medical school being 4 years. The plan is to have 20 to 24 students per year start on the St. Cloud campus and spend all 4 years on the St. Cloud campus. So the plan is to start in August of 2025 with the first class.
Thank you. Madam Chair.
Senator Nelson?
Okay, this sounds like a very good plan. I appreciate the extra details there. And then the very last question, though, is the university is asking for almost $1 billion for repurchasing the U of M hospital and remodeling and retrofitting it, or I'm not sure the exact words they're using. And I'm just a little concerned about how all this fits in to that request as well.
Well, Madam
Mr.
Chair and
Cruz?
members, I can answer that because I've had numerous discussions with their Office of General Counsel, with their lobbying team, and you name it. And here's what I would say is that they have an official process that they have to go through the Regents for their official asks. And right now, where it's at currently, is that they've gone, along with our CEO and others, have gone in front of the Regents and have basically presented, and we're happy to share with this committee, a non-binding memorandum of understanding, or LOI, about what the school would look like. In order for that to basically be finalized, hopefully this fall, in front of the Regents, and they certainly gave the go-ahead to do this work that we're doing, we vet the bills through them, but they are not allowed, and I'm saying this on behalf of Dean Rosenberg, so because it's less awkward for me to say it, they're not allowed to support anything outside of the Regents process. And so CentraCare has said, we will own the lane of, we need this to work for rural Minnesota. We're going to put our own money in it. We're going to do our own philanthropy on it. And we will carry this through this process until these things, if and when they merge. However, we are not to to get ahead of that process of them getting their approval through the Regents process. They need to be respectful of that, and CentraCare needs to be respectful of that. So this ask is outside of their official ask of for the hospital and all of the rest of their official capital investment, you name it. And CentraCare wants to be good partners with you in that because we need their partnership, and so we want to be good stewards of the trust of you have your process, we have ours, and certainly the legislature, you have yours. And I'm getting tight on time, I can tell by looking at Madam Chair. So that's my response to that, is to say they have boxes they need to check in order for this to become an official position of the U, and they're ahead of that.
Thank you, Mr. Cruz. Senator Nelson.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I would love to see that memorandum of understanding.
Happy to share
Thank
it.
you.
Senator Housley.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and I'll be brief. Thank you again, Senator Putnam. I guess I would be more comfortable voting for it if there was some sort of report built into the bill, so you could come back to the legislature, tell us what has been sent, how much remains, maybe some data on how the program's working. I think it's great, and then we can actually learn to maybe implement this in other places. Two, I think maybe we should have some guardrails built in there around administrative costs. We could try and get that in there. And then just my quick question is, since it is a University of Minnesota appropriation, is this going to higher ed at all?
Mr. Cruz.
Madam Chair and members, this will not go to, I don't anticipate it going to higher ed because this is actually not going directly to the University of Minnesota. This is coming through CentraCare. Our fiscal agent would be, for the bonding portion, the state of Minnesota, or for the bonding portion, the St. Cloud, the city of St. Cloud. And we would actually be entering into a ground lease so that it would be like other publicly funded things that have come through. Like, for example, we've done work with others around using public funding and gifting over a ground lease to use public dollars for those. But for this, our fiscal agent would be deed, more than likely. And we have a lot of experience with that. So number one, I want to make sure you hear CentraCare say out loud and on the record, we see all of those as friendly amendments. We're happy to come back and do a report out. We're happy to, we do a third-party gap audit every year for our bondholders. So for us, fiscal accountability is staring at me two doors down here with Mike, and we have public bondholders of our debt. So we're very familiar and need to be accountable to how we use the money, and we'd welcome that. With regard to this money going to the U, there'll be many costs to CentraCare, there'll be many costs to the community, there'll be many costs to the U. I wouldn't say that it's going to the University of Minnesota. I would say it's going to our community to support the programs. Will there be costs on both sides of the ledger? Absolutely there will. But everything you said I consider to be friendly amendments and very, very reasonable.
Senator Putnam.
Thank you, Madam Chair. If I could just sort of continue with Mr. Cruz's line of argument, I also would be really grateful to see some sense of report. And one of the things I'm most curious about, most interested in, is making sure that these doctors stay in Greater Minnesota. I think that should be an element of whatever report is established, is some kind of tracking mechanism or understanding, making sure that we really are doing what we need to do for Greater Minnesota and these doctors are there. I understand that there's a really high likelihood that folks will stay, but there's no reason we can't report on it too. And Mr. Cruz did mention a bonding bill. There is also a bonding capital request that is traveling with this as well in capital investment for a modest amount of money to build some dorms and some facilities for this, which is in capital investment, which you will see.
Thank you, Senator Putnam. Senator Draham.
Madam Chair, I just had one follow-up. The reason for it going to higher ed, I just thought it would be good for that committee to also know that this funding request is out there. That was just my suggestion. Thanks.
Senator Draham.
Thank you, Chair, and thank you, Senator Putnam. And I just want to build on Senator Housley's comment about higher ed. Being vice chair for a couple of years of higher ed, I think this is the type of bill we would have heard. I know you're very familiar with the higher ed committee, and I would encourage you to pull it into your committee. I think it's a worthy project, but I think it needs to be vetted, and I think they can help you on that committee vet the bill to make sure we get it right. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Senator Draham. Senator Nelson.
I am so sorry to come back in, but my colleagues made really good points. I was wondering about this too. Why isn't this in higher ed? But when you mentioned dorms, that there's a capital request for dorms, you know, we have a very specified way that our higher education institutions come to us for bonding, for example. And it is a little bit somewhat concerning that this is, and so I'm highly supportive of the rural medicine and the rural medical training and the encouragement for those doctors to stay here, maybe some loan forgiveness, those type of things. But I am really wondering now why this hasn't been in higher ed, particularly when you're talking about building dorms. And so two things I would very much like to, it'd be helpful to get the higher ed perspective on this, because there's specific ways that we fund higher ed. And then also, I think we mentioned it earlier, but really get a breakdown of the $72 million. That's a pretty big blank check. So we need to kind of get the breakdown of those dollars, I think. And I also liked the reports and just, the due diligence that we would expect from the U. So I think it's a great project, but I think maybe a little bit more fleshing out would be helpful. But Senator Putnam, why is it not coming to higher ed?
Senator Putnam.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you, Senator Nelson, for the question. I'm not opposed to it going to higher ed, but when we talk about the bonding project specifically, that's also evidence of the commitment of the City of St. Cloud to this project. The City of St. Cloud is the one who would be kind of on the hook on this one. So Dr. Holman might have some more.
You're getting at an important element that I'd like to address for a minute. If we were to take a look at medical education as a containment vessel, bad analogy, but let's try it. The containment vessel for the University of Minnesota in Duluth and in Minneapolis is under the sole provision of the U of M, right? They have assets there, they have building, they have labs, they got all sorts of stuff that makes them just a world-class partner. The University of Minnesota does not have assets in St. Cloud. Does that make sense? CentraCare has the assets. So if you want to view this, this is truly a joint venture between an organization, CentraCare, that participates in medical education and has for some time, but we are not a degree-granting MD institution. For us to do that would take 10 to 12 to 15 years and would be very difficult. So in conversations over the last several years, as we identify the problem, which is creating a context for creating more healthcare professionals, how does CentraCare partner with the university to do that? So this is a joint venture. And so it's not really a CentraCare only thing. It's not a university only thing. It's truly a joint venture because CentraCare is providing its assets. It's part of that containment vehicle that is in joint venture with the university. Does that help you at all?
Yes, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Senator Halsey, would you like to make a motion to send it to higher ed?
Madam Chair, I would love to. I'd like to make a motion for Senate File 1807 to be re-referred to higher ed.
All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, say nay.
Thank you,
Great,
Madam
motion
Chair.
passes.
Thank you.
Final words, Senator Putnam? Oh, never mind. It's done. We're done.
Madam Chair, if I may, I think Dr. Holman would like to have a few final statements.
Okay, go ahead.
Brief and quick ones, because we're over time.
Quick.
Okay.
Thank you. I talked about the role of leadership. 1974. Ken's from a small town in Iowa. I get accepted to medical school at the University of Minnesota, 1974. In Minnesota, in 1974, there were roughly total just under 300 medical school students trained each year. Population of Minnesota in 1974 was slightly 3 million. The population of Minnesota this year is 5.17 million. There are no more medical students trained in Minnesota now than there were when I went in 1974. Thank you.
That's good. Well done. That's a mic drop right there.
Great, that concludes our business members for this meeting. So the committee's adjourned. Thank you.